How are you doing in your rehab, and where are you physically right now?
Well, I'm doing better and better. I think I'm on the right track. I've had no setbacks yet, and I hope it's going to stay this way. So it's been a good last 6 weeks. More on the quiet side, obviously, because I have time now to rehab. I know I will have time later on to train really hard. So important was to give the knee a bit of a break, and at the same time just strengthen what I could, in the core and in the leg. And I think we did some good progress. So. Now we're slowly moving into the next phase where I'm going to start doing fitness and then also tennis slowly, more and more, which I'm obviously looking forward to.
What is if there is such a thing, what's a typical day for you at the moment up here in the Swiss mountains?
Yeah, I mean, I love being in Switzerland. It's the year I definitely spend most time in Switzerland than any other year in the last 15 years. So it's actually, I'm really making the most of it, going on hikes, spending obviously time with the family, friends coming over to stay at our place. Yeah, and so typical day at the moment looks like I work out probably half of the day and do my rehab and treatment, and the rest of the day I'm out doing stuff with the kids. And spending time with my wife and with my friends. It's pretty simple actually. I'm working like half days. It's different, unusual. I can dictate when I train as well with my team, but we got a good schedule ahead also in the next few weeks and months. But I really enjoy my time in the mountains. It's so beautiful here, and I can't get enough of it.
If I could ask about the tennis going on at the moment, obviously the US Open is in full swing. Are you following the results, and if you are, how tricky is it for you to sort of be on the outside looking into a tournament where you've obviously had such great success in the past? How's that feel?
Feels odd, to sit here in Switzerland in the mountains and knowing that the US Open's going on at the moment. It's definitely a feeling I don't know since '98. Ever since I went to play the juniors, I've always played the US Open. So clearly I feel like something's missing. I felt the same way at the French Open this year when I missed that, but everything happened so quickly, and it was a decision I had to make. There was really no way I could have played there. Whereas the US Open was more thought through. We were thinking about all the different possibilities, how to still somehow make the US Open work, but at the end, if I look at health, it's just the only right decision. So of course it hurts. I would love to play in Arthur Ashe, would love to hear the roars of the crowds, and just be in the city would be amazing, and be there with all the other players, because there's such great players there at the moment. It kind of hurts, but at the same time I'm okay, and I'm doing fine. I'm healthy. I'm enjoying a great time with my family, and I catch myself very often checking the scores of what's actually going on. I'm surprised how much actually I'm looking for the results. I'm intrigued about what's going on when I'm not around, and I like what I'm seeing at the moment.
Once you made that decision to take a step back from the tour, obviously it's for the right reasons. How tough was that decision making process for you?
Well, I took time to make that decision because it was one of the bigger decisions I've taken in my professional tennis life. Not playing for 5 to 6 months. 1 month of it being the off season is a big deal, and it better be well thought through. So that's why I was speaking to the doctors, to physio, to the team, Severin, Ivan, just my wife, everybody, just to see are we all on the same page, because I would like everybody to be on the same page if we take that decision and we go down that route. So and like I said before, I was really trying everything to make it work, that I was going to be somehow able to play the Olympics, then maybe rest, or play the US Open and then maybe rest. But everybody who I spoke to just said, like, you need a rest right now, especially after all the beating that the knee received during Wimbledon. It started to, get to me that I have almost no choice, really. I could play the US Open or the Olympics if I didn't care about what's going to happen after, maybe after tennis, because then maybe I have more and more problems with my knee. I might have to do another surgery, but I wanted to avoid that at all costs. And so for me, it was about staying healthy, looking at sort of short-term pain, long-term gain, if you like, looking forward to hopefully playing for a few more years, because that was the goal. I'm looking forward to playing 3 more years, and if that's the goal, then this is the only right decision. And it's not only that I'm missing the Open and Olympics, but it's also Cincinnati and Shanghai and Basel and Paris and the World Tour finals. So all these tournaments I haven't missed for many, many years. It's some of my favorite tournaments of the season, and usually always at the back end of the season where I play my best and my favorite tournaments to play. So it hurts a lot, and the decision wasn't made easily, but once health came first, surprisingly enough, actually it was quite simple, and the pain is somewhat manageable, I must tell you.
A great disappointment, obviously, not to be on the tour, but on the flip side, a wonderful opportunity to spend some great time with friends and family. What's the kind of balance there? Is there a sort of a real silver lining to having to step away from the court a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, look, life's been busy, the last 15 years, especially since we've had kids. Obviously, it's been tough. There's always something going on. There's never really quiet moments. Of course, you dictate your schedule, but I never complain. I love it this way. I love it when it's busy. I love it when it's tough. But at the same time, now that it's more quiet, I mean, of course I love it. It's and I feel like I'm taking a lot of energy from it. Stepping away from it has always been crucial and key for me. Stepping away from the craziness that I go through on a daily basis. Doing media, fans, signing autographs, pictures, getting recognized, tournaments, transport back and forth, all these things, not knowing when you're going to play, all these things and matches. It's just a lot going on. So for me, it was always really important to step away from the game from time to time, if it's in the mountains here in Switzerland, or we go on a vacation somewhere, or when I was training in Dubai, it was always nice and peaceful, So for me now, I get extra time, from all of that. So I think when I do come back, I think I'm going to be really, really excited to come back, and it's really the first time I'm really fighting a bigger injury. So I think maybe now for the first time, I'm really aware what it means to be healthy and happy to be on a court again. I could never probably quite understand what people who were really injured were going through. You're just happy to get on the court. You're just happy to be healthy again. You almost don't care about the result. And that's what happened to me this year in some moments. And looking forward, I mean, that's the goal as well, that I'm going to be happy playing again. But then, of course, I hope that then very quickly I'm going to feel so strong that I can actually have goals again of hopefully, beating the best and winning titles again.
There's obviously a bit of a race on for the number one between Novak and Andy at the moment. We're very used to you being involved in that race, sadly not this year, but if we're looking at those two guys, what do you make of that situation and the rivalry between those two?
Well, I mean, it's nice that it's closer again, that Andy was able to close the gap on Novak a little bit. It was amazing to see Andy winning. Well, let's start with Novak winning the French Open first of all. That was huge. That was big for the game, big for him to win all 4 slams and achieve that career Grand Slam. Plus he did 4 in a row as well. So it's been an unbelievable year for him. Now he's struggled maybe a touch more, but still ended up winning Toronto. So he's doing fine, and he'll be really tough to beat at the U.S. Open. He's just that good when it comes to Arthur Ashe and that kind of a type of a court, best of 5. He's going to be tough to beat, and Andy has really, risen to the occasion, I'd say, with winning Queens. I think he did win that, and then also Wimbledon, finals of Cincinnati, and then of course winning the gold at the Olympics. Unfortunately, no points for him there, but nevertheless, just building great momentum for what's to come this season. So I'm very impressed by Andy, and I hope he can keep up a great race with Novak, because I think it's intriguing for the fans and for the the people who follow tennis. It's a great story, especially now heading into the U.S. Open, and then particularly if Andy could come even closer to Novak at the end of the U.S. Open for the rest of the season.
We could just ask about yourself, Roger, and the rest of this year in terms of the rehab. Are you going to be staying here in Switzerland, or are you going to go to a different location for a time?
No, I mean, I'm going to be most of the time in Switzerland, and then at the end, like I usually do, I always go to Dubai before when the weather starts to get cold over here and the snow starts building everywhere. That's when I disappear and I go to the warmer climate again, even though I would love to spend some more time in the mountains, in the snow. But then we do go to Dubai, at the end of the year to prepare for, the Hopman Cup, where I start my new season, and then obviously the Australian Open.
having this break from the game, has it sort of reminded you how much you love the game of tennis?
Yes, very much so. I mean, I think I'm just in a good place, you know. I'm very, very much at peace. If I play or I don't play, I'm very happy, you know. Now, all of a sudden, I didn't play again for 9 days, so I better start playing again, you know, just at least for the shoulder and stuff. And then when I go hit for, at the moment, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm just happy. I'm playing, you know, I'm having a smile on my face, and I'll always play. Okay, at some point I will retire and I won't play on the tour anymore, but I'll always play for fun with my friends, doubles, singles, practice, you know, was down the road, so it will never go away for me. So I don't think I needed a reality check with an injury to really figure it out, but yes, absolutely, I'm still very motivated to go into the gym. Can't wait for my knee to be healed again completely and to return to the tour in 2017. And yeah, I don't struggle with any motivational issues, you know, that I'm going through a tougher time. I look at these tougher times as something super interesting and almost in some ways something fun that I have not actually gone through in my career, in my life before. So let's try to figure this out and make the most of it. And that's my approach to the situation today.
Are there any goals for 2017, and have you and your team drawn up a tentative schedule yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think the normal schedule as of now for 2017 is to play the Hopman Cup, Australian Open and Dubai. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of more things coming after that. But for the time being, I think that needs to be the focus, that I can return for those 3 tournaments in great shape. After that, yeah, I have all of 17 pretty much mapped out. I know which tournaments I would like to play. 18, well, obviously that's too far away. I have to still see how the body's going to cope with, you know, all the matches again and so forth. So that's why this preparation of these 4, 5 months, 6 months I have right now is really key. And I believe I can become super strong actually, because I never have 6 months. Usually I only have a month here, sometimes 6 weeks, sometimes only 3 weeks. So I have a lot to work with right now, and I hope to make myself so strong that, yes, I have the best chance to play for many more years to come on the tour.
Is there one particular thing you miss about not being there this year?
I think I touched on it before a little bit, but what I miss about New York is just the crowd, really, because the crowd always waits for something to happen. You know, they don't come in and says like, okay, today we're going to go crazy. They're waiting for you to do something, and then they will wake up, and then they're right there, and they're right behind you, and they make it one of the best atmospheres on the planet on a tennis court. Especially, it's the biggest one we have. I think now, not having seen the roof is a bit of a pity, but I miss the fans the most. I mean, I think that's still one of my biggest thrills to be playing tennis today, is actually playing in front of people. And I'm one of the fortunate guys, like Novak and Rafa and other guys, who always get center court. So I really, really appreciate that. And I think that's probably what I miss the most. Do I love the city? Of course I do. I love New York City. I love Flushing Meadows. I love so much about it. I got to know the place so well. I have a lot of friends there as well. So of course I miss them as well. But at the end, I'm a tennis player, and I miss the fans the most, yeah.